Hello, my Taurus gang. This is Melissa here with Enchanted Emerald, bringing you your August 2021 reading. And as we get into the traditional Rider-Waite deck here, the first card we have is the Two of Wands. Okay, so the Two of Wands. I definitely feel like with this one, this is you wanting to leave your castle, right? Like you're excited, you want to know what's out there. You decide that you want to leave and explore the world. You can see the world in the palm of the hand there. But it's almost as if you don't want to give up your luxury, your security that you have. But you know that you can't have both. You know that you can't have the security that you have within the castle and also explore the world without having to confront the fear maybe of the unknown as you move past that. Okay, so I do feel as though there is a wanting to move past some of these hurdles of these subconscious fears and things that have kind of come up for you recently. Okay, so I definitely feel this Two of Wands as we move into the beginning of August 2021, the first week here. Okay, but there's a big push here to know that, from Spirit, that it's like, life is like a game. And so it's for you, like being a sport, you can either be the spectator where you're kind of watching things happen, you're sitting on the sidelines, or you can like join the game. And, I feel like that's where you're at. You're feeling like, okay, no more on the sidelines. Like I need to get into the game. I need to know what's happening. I need to know if I have what it takes to get the goal, right? Like you're kind of excited about it. And so you're ready to get out there, even if it means that, like, you could be trampled by other players, you could be trampled by your competition, but you also know that there's the thrill here that, like, if you get that goal, like how exciting that could be for you in terms of feeling like so accomplished and so achieved and really meeting your dreams and, calling in that abundance maybe that you've been hoping for this whole time, right? And so there's a really big push there for you, right? But there's, something here from Spirit, like that we need to be mindful too, because I'm a Taurus. We need to be mindful that we can't be a poor sport now either, right? We can't get out there and be upset when things don't go our way. We have to kind of go with the flow. We can't sit in the middle of the field and throw a tantrum now, right? And so, there is this phrase that comes through from Spirit, like if we can't beat them, join them. And, so it's our time to shine. It's time for us to, like, if we fumble with the ball, even, like, we have to get up and keep it moving, right? And so, battle scars and all, like, just keep going. And so think of life as is almost like a race. And now it's time to get yourself out there where you can, join the race a little bit. And even if it's like, you're a little bit slower than everybody else, that's okay, right? Like you're still gonna, get where you need to go, even if, you're not achieving something as fast as maybe somebody else. That's okay. You will in your own time, because everything happens in divine timing. So that's an amazing message here for us. So the second card here we have is, Spirit is saying, listen, the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. We have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune card. See, I'm starting to record in here, and then it's hard for me to, like, hit the camera right. Okay, so Wheel of Fortune card, we have this beautiful energy that comes in with, like, again, everything happens in divine timing, and time is going to continue to pass. Whether you choose to stay in your castle or whether you choose to get out there and see what's out there for you, we will bring in good tidings for ourselves, right? Like opportunities will show up for you with whether you're in the castle or whether you're going out there and seeking them, right? Actively seeking. I think it's just a matter of like taking that inspired action and getting yourself out there, out of your comfort zone and outside of the castle could bring different opportunities, right? So there's something to be said there that, like, Spirit will always take care of you if you are open to that. But I think that, again, you can bring up a whole new level for yourself if you are taking that inspired action and pushing past that comfort zone to really get yourself out there to achieve what you want to achieve, right? So I do feel as though there could be somebody within your, your environment, this could be you, right, really trying to control the outcome of something, right? Because when things start happening, it gets a little scary, and we try to control things, and that's okay. That's part of our human nature, right? But we want to be able to try to let go of some of these things that happen in order for it to happen for our highest and best. And so it invites spirit in to bring in some of these really wonderful things for us. So when I think of the Emperor here, when I'm thinking of that, it's like you want to know the outcome, right? Like Taurus is very fixed. They like their routines. They don't like change. And so that's really what I'm feeling like with the Emperor kind of coming in. But when we let go of some of that control. See, when we're trying to control things and we want things to happen a certain way, and we're very fixed on that coming in that way, it kind of blocks almost, it puts like a screen up, right, for things to happen only that way. And then we can kind of put blinders on to these other opportunities that are showing up. So we just want to make sure that we're keeping ourselves open so that we can have the best opportunities coming in for us, so we can really truly be happy. We have this beautiful, loving, stable, happy beginning coming in, right? And so that's what I feel as you move in toward the end of this first week in August, is we're starting to warm ourselves up to this new idea, maybe, right? And so I don't feel like, this is something that you would have put yourself out there to do traditionally. I feel like it's something that it's maybe like a little bit of a last resort. Like I feel like you're very much a traditional person with the Hierophant here. You like things to happen, very much like out of what would normally happen for like what society says, maybe, right? And so maybe you're thinking this week about like what normally makes you happy, or how you can achieve, a certain goal, how you can get there. And so this whole thing here, where it's like maybe you've tried so many things within your current situation, your current routine, to just shake the energy up a little bit, or to allow yourself to really truly like get into this state of fulfillment, or feeling truly fulfilled within that, and you're feeling like, okay, this isn't working, so what do I do now? And so now you're really having to shake things up in a big way. And so that's where maybe it's like a feeling of like you have to do this out of like a last resort, right? And so you're feeling like you've been left no choice but to try to make a big change now. And it's scary, and sometimes that happens, right? Like the universe steps in and we have to do those things, and it's like moving you, nudging you, pushing you, and you're like, I don't want to go. But on the other side of all of that, when you push through that fear, that is where some of the really great things are. And so, maybe that's where you're in this whole first week here of August, is where you're just feeling like maybe you're contemplating these things. Maybe you're actually making a plan for it. Maybe you started making calls toward, like a new job, or like whatever that looks like for you in your current situation. I feel like you're in a contemplation stage of change, or maybe actually starting to take some action towards something new, okay? As we move into the second week here, the 8th through the 14th, we have the 7 of Wands. So I feel, with this one, I definitely feel like you might have to, like you're in a position where you constantly have to defend yourself, maybe for your choices, right? Even though you feel like you're standing up for like what you feel is right, you have people in your environment maybe that don't agree with your views, or they confront you constantly, and so you're constantly having to defend yourself for like the choices that you're making, even though you feel like this is what's right for me. I know that. But really what's happening is these people are just casting judgment on you. And so you are being judged by this person. So what they're doing is projecting their views and their fear and their worry onto you. And so just be mindful of that as you interact with them, that has everything to do with them and has nothing to do with you. And kind of meet them where they're at. Make sure that you're protecting your energy, and know that you don't have to defend yourself to anybody. You have, you're a sovereign being. You have free will, and if you feel in your heart of hearts that you're doing what's best for you, then that's it. That's all you have to know, right? And then you can go forward from there. Because even if in the end something happens and it was a lesson, then that's okay too. Maybe that was a lesson that you were supposed to have. So just make sure that you're following your intuition. Listen to yourself, okay? So with that, I feel too that you have to be discerning about who you are sharing your information with. So if you're making different choices and starting to look for new things in your life and starting to take action on maybe getting enrolled into a class or something, you don't have to defend yourself to anybody. So just be mindful of who you're sharing that information with, okay? Until you're fully into whatever you're doing, right? Because you don't want them to be casting more judgment on you. And that energy gets out there and it can affect us, okay? So that's really what I feel with that. And then, so we move into the Six of Cups here as well. Also for the 8th through the 14th, we get the Six of Cups. With this one, I really hear that song by Fergie, the love bug crawled right up and gotcha. I don't necessarily feel as though this is a love situation. I do feel see, with the Six of Cups, we get past life stuff, soul contracts, things like that can come up with that. So it could be somebody that you were with in a past life, something like that coming up. And this person is meant to come in to help you fulfill certain obligations or to help you get through something difficult, okay? So just be mindful. This person could also be somebody that you were with in this current life from the past, and they're kind of making a reappearance just to help you get over the hump, so to speak, with some difficulties that you're experiencing in your life at this point in time. And so, they could be helping you with a certain task, a certain project, and then once that is done, it's the shared commitment is completed, then that's that. And so just be mindful of that. But I do feel this person really meets you on a soul level, and there's this deep soul understanding, which is really beautiful for you in terms of supporting you and getting what you need to get done and onto the other side of things. And I'm getting chills with that, so that's I feel I'm right on with that. So that's good energy, good stuff. At the end of the week there, for the 8th to the 14th, I have the Seven of Pentacles accompanied with the King of Pentacles, okay? So with this, I really feel as though Spirit is saying the jury's out, okay? And somebody's going to be hung to dry, okay? So now I don't want you to feel overwhelmed with this, but this is exactly what had come through. When I look at that, I see somebody who maybe has put a lot of effort into something, particularly maybe in a work situation, and they really hoped that it would have been a little bit more fruitful a little bit sooner than it has, or something to that effect. What I really feel with this is that you're trying to maybe wrap your head around the situation of why hasn't it gotten to this point where I've been a little bit more successful. I put so much time and energy into this right now. It's a labor of love though, and you really, really enjoy it. And what I feel with this too is that this is, like a Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? I feel everything is going to get right back on track, the way it needs to. I think it's just maybe making a few tweaks, here and there in order to really get the fruits of your labor to blossom, okay? I do feel there could be people within your environment, maybe within your work environment, that talk badly maybe about you. That's just something to kind of be mindful of. So I don't want you to not be your full authentic self 100% of the time, right? Understand that we can be divinely protected, and we can ask the angels to guide us and to protect us and things like that. We have to ask them though, right, before they can help us. But I do feel like with this, it's not fair. I mean, it's not fair, but I do feel like it's going to boil down to some sort of a choice that you're going to have to make. Okay, I'm not really sure about all the details here because I was a little confused myself, but I do feel like it's going to be maybe where something like is coming in where you're being called, like you're questioned about your abilities, or you're questioned about your choices, and so then you're feeling like, that's it, I'm done, right? Like the jury's out, you've made your decision, like I can't do this anymore, or something to that effect. I feel like it'll be a significant shift for you in terms of like, okay, where I was at the beginning of the month and I was thinking about things, like I now know what I have to do, right? So something to that effect. I do feel that you're somebody could be talking badly about you in terms of like the choice that you made about something, something like that. So again, that doesn't determine you or your worth, right? That determines where they're at, and that's okay, right? We have to meet people where they're at, but you should just fully stand in your authentic self and assert yourself should you be confronted, right? And you can stand in your truth and knowing and act accordingly in asserting a boundary, okay? And you can do that with tact and kindness, and you don't have to do that in a malicious way, although we tend to want to react sometimes to those things, and that would make you fully human though. So it's just a little bit something to be mindful of as you move through that week, okay? And then we get into the week of the 15th through the 21st, and we have the 5 of Swords, okay? I'm going to show you all the cards because they were all a little bit like gruesome looking, but I don't want you to be upset by that. So we have the 5 of Swords with the Tower with the Death card, okay? So with those, the 15th through the 21st, I'm really feeling like, I want you to notice though too, with the Death card, that I was very drawn, to the sun in the background there. Anyways, there's the sun, okay? And, there's conflict that could arise out of you being passive, okay? Where, like, and it's got you feeling pretty shook, right? Like, you feel like, I'm ready to jump ship. Like, I can't do this anymore. And, like, where you might have reacted or spoke up, I guess, when necessary. I don't want to say react, but, like, spoke up when necessary and then conserved your energy the rest of the time. You don't want to put effort into toxic stuff, and that's, I really feel like that's where some of that comes from. But I feel like you wanting to separate or give space or like jump ship, so to speak, is probably a good idea. I do feel like, coming down, when it all boils down, I feel like if you were to do that, like, things would stabilize in this situation, okay? And so that's really what I'm feeling with all of this, and that's where, like, that Death card comes in. Death doesn't always necessarily mean like a physical death. It can mean change. It can mean transformation. It can mean like a new perspective out of giving that space and giving that time, right, apart from a situation. So that's really what I feel with that, because the word stabilize was very strong from Spirit with that. And so I do feel like that's where that Death card is, right? That sun is shining, right? Like, you have like new things coming to light, or you feel illuminated as a result of giving space to that situation, where you have a new perspective about things and can move forward from that, okay? So that's really what I feel with that one. Then moving into the last week of August here, the 22nd through the 31st, we have the Magician with the Four of Pentacles. And so with this, I really feel like it's weird. I heard a Shaggy song, which I haven't heard in a long time, but like it's Mr. Boombastic, where it's like Mr. Lover, like that one. I really feel like there's this like stereotypical type player energy coming in where I feel like somebody could be coming on strong to you, and I don't know if it's very well received or not, honestly. I do feel like it does attest to, with those two cards, how we give and receive love, right? And I do feel like there's a need for you to go after what you want. I don't feel like this is something that you're going to want. Like what this energy that I feel is very superficial, right? Again, like I said, like a player type energy. You want something that's like on your level. You want something that's like deep and soulful. And so, I do feel like when you're connecting with people, that's something to be mindful of. How do you feel around this person? And, what kind of conversations are you having? Is it something that like really is stimulating to your brain or like to your soul? Or is it something that's like superficial, like, how are you? Tell me about yourself. I hate that one. Like, tell me about yourself. Like, I'm not here to entertain you, and I do not have time for that. I want something deep, right? And that's really what I'm feeling that comes in with this, because the last card we have is the Queen of Wands, somebody who stands very confident, knowing her worth, right? Very courageous, independent, like definitely standing in her femininity, right? And she is like maybe has a very strong moral compass, and she just is knowing, right? She's even protected, right, by her spirit guide. And she just knows exactly what she wants, and she's gonna go for it, right? So she's like knowing her worth, and she's knowing that like she's gonna pass up some of these okay opportunities or not so okay opportunities to really wait for something really great to come in, right? You got to pass up something good for something great. And so really knowing when and where to invest her time and energy. And that's really what I'm feeling with that one. Okay, so go after what you want. And then because I think that self-care is always so important, and it's always great to do a check-in with that, I also asked Spirit to give us a couple of cards for Taurus for August, where we need to place our self-care for the month. And so out of the Sacred Self-Care deck, I got two cards. The first one is Build Strength. This is a great card. What I really feel with this one too is that, it's not necessarily about what your physical body looks like, right? Like, it's more about maybe achieving a goal. So maybe there's this like hiking trail or something that you've been wanting to go on, but maybe it's a little bit more difficult of a trail than what you would normally go on. It's about working up to being able to do that without having difficulty doing that, right? So it's about moving your body and getting more exercise and affirming, I have a strong body, I have a strong mind, I have a strong spirit. Okay, so this is really what I feel with this one as you move through August. And then also for self-care, this also came out with it. I would have only normally gotten one, but two came out, so that's okay. We're going to work with it. Plan a vacation, which is awesome. Now, even if you don't have the budget for a vacation at this point in time, this is about looking forward to something, about planning something. This can be even a staycation, right? It's allowing yourself the time and space to dream and to be inspired, feel inspired, okay? So where can you go, even if it's local, that can inspire you, or go somewhere that's new and different that you haven't been in a while, because that's going to inspire you on a deep soul level, okay? Going somewhere new, meeting new people, experiencing a different culture, those things are all very good to nourish our soul. And so that's what this vacationing and stuff is all about. And it gives us inspiration, and it can boost our creativity and all of those beautiful things, so that we can feel refreshed when we move through our day to day. Okay? So that's what I have for you, Taurus. I do so hope that this helps you navigate your August. And as always, I will be back with you guys for another read again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.